Tony, please call the roll.
Yeager.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
Bevins.
Here.
Chezak. Johnson. Stunek. O'Day.
Here.
Badeau.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. Next up, we have approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Chezak, second by Bevins. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. We have an agenda. Next up, we have the consent calendar. This is a notice of public that all matters listed are considered routine by the council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless good cause is shown prior to the time the council votes on the motion to be adopted by roll call.
Mr. President,
Mr. Chezak.
I'd like to ask that the suspense tracker be taken off the consent calendar and put it immediately following the adoption of the consent.
Okay.
And then I would move to approve the consent.
Second. Motion by Chezak, second by Bevins. Any discussion? None. Tony?
Yeager.
Yep.
Erickson.
Yes.
Bevins.
Yes.
Chezak.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yep.
O'Day.
Yes. That motion carries. Next up, we have the suspense tracker that was taken off of consent. So, Mr. Chezak, do you have comments?
It's the item, it's the very last item, if you can look at that. It's the finished items, and it's the one to do with the request of the council to ask the city of Baxter to consider adjusting their rates to match the city's bus rates for the bus fares. And it says it's completed, and I would beg to differ because we have an item there that says they'll be giving, the administrator said they'll try to make time for our staff, I believe Administrator Broyles and Public Works Director Habecourse, to meet with a presentation to the Baxter City Council, and seeing as that has not come to fruition, I don't know how we can call that item complete, so I'd like to keep it current if we could,
Okay.
unless somebody would argue that it is complete. So,
Looks like you have concurrence from the staff, so
okay.
that will be changed.
I just want to stress too that this item is very important to help our ridership for the city bus service overall. If we can adjust those rates, it's obvious we would increase ridership. And when there's people carpooling to get a ride back to Brainerd from Baxter to save that additional fare that they wouldn't otherwise pay, there's a significant increase in ridership we could have, but just based on that alone. So
All right.
it doesn't have to be a motion to that effect or anything, does it?
Doesn't look like it. Looks like staff is on it. So,
I would move to approve in the rest of the consent, this item on consent.
to approve with that change?
Yep.
Okay. Second. Motion by Chezak, second by Bevins. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor?
Mr. President.
Aye.
You want a voice vote for this one, Tony?
Yeager.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
Bevins.
Yes.
Chezak.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yep.
O'Day.
Yes.
Mr. President, I don't know, the consent calendar has numerous items. I think when we pull one, a simple yes or no vote, but that's my,
Either way.
okay.
We got it done.
Fair enough.
All right, moving on to number 6. This is public forum. This is time allocated for citizens to bring matters not on the agenda to the attention of the council. Time limits may be imposed. Looks like we have quite a few in here that are ready to come up and speak possibly tonight. So let's try to keep it under 3 to 5 minutes. Come on up, sir.
Good evening. My name is Lowell Smith, Baxter, Minnesota, but I am here with the Crow Wing County Republicans. I am here representing them officially as the chair of the Crow Wing County Republicans. A letter that was drafted by Mayor Purefest up in Cross Lake was sent to the mayor here to be signed, that is an opportunity to sign on and show unity of standing together. Every mayor except Brainerd and one other refused to sign the letter. This letter was addressed to all state representatives and senators, and it expressed our concern as a group of mayors that there was $1 billion in fraud that had been committed, unchecked spending of $18 billion in surplus of this last budget, and also fiscal mismanagement of another $6 billion on top of that. I would like to be clear that this isn't about a left or a right issue, isn't about a GOP or a DFL. It's not even about anything else other than what is right and what is wrong. As a group, we are deeply disappointed in you either being unwilling and unable to sign on to this letter that is denouncing all the fraud, waste, and abuse that has occurred that impacts every citizen here in Brainerd and in Crow Wing County as a whole. We're having to pay for this mismanagement and fraud twice, once with the initial funds that are gone, and that there will be extra taxes that will be paid by us, the citizens, to have to cover this cost. That will trickle down to each individual city in this county, and it'll make your job as a council harder for both long-term planning and to make budget meetings. Your failure to sign has left many in the community feeling unheard, let down, and frankly quite disappointed. If you're unwilling or unable, and if you're unwilling, the question is to why? Why are you afraid to stand against fraud and abuse? You swore to protect the citizens of Brainerd against this sort of type of action. Your constituents deserve and elected you to fight for them. If unable, the same question applies. Why are you unable? Are you unable because Brainerd is awaiting some type of state approval for funds? And if that's the case, is any amount of money worth your value as far as what is right is wrong? What is it? Is it worth compromising any of your values? Along with this, you're not standing shoulder to shoulder with the other mayors that have signed on to this within this county. We as a whole should stand side by side with our local county members to help stand together, and don't be afraid to take a stand. When I saw the letter, I had high hopes for our county joining together and making a statement about fraud, waste, and abuse. Your decision not to sign is a significant letdown to our community. If still not willing to change your mind and sign, I would urge the rest of the council for a resolution to pass urging the mayor to sign the letter. And if not, please reconsider your decision for the sake of our community. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. If there's anybody else that would like to come up and address the council, anything that's not on the agenda, please do so now. And if you're online and you'd like to address the council, press *3, that'll raise your hand. Come on up, sir, just name and address first.
My name is Chris. I'm going to leave my last name alone. Address is in Brainerd. I'm up here to support all the victims here in Crow Wing and maybe outside of Crow Wing. I was a victim at 2020 at my home, assaulted by a renter, ignored by police, ignored by a lot of other people. I came forward several times to solve the issue and to let you guys know that I am a survivor of four coming deaths. I had one death right after my assault. I was in this Minneapolis city, and thanks to an officer down there had saved my life because I was about to die. My blood pressure went down to 1 or 5 and ended up in the hospital. I'm here because I believe the city council needs to put up a more strict safety for the landlords here, and they're being assaulted and police not allowing them to be heard. I'm also here because I believe that if you guys see me and how I survived from this hall from years from 2020 to now, is because I'm a fighter. I'm not a quitter, and I'm gonna show people that it does happen, and city council needs to hear us out for those who are victims of assault. And I would like to see if you guys can come up with a solution for this to support me and those out there that are victims of assault, and allowing the people that have been the suspects at large assaulting these renters or other landlords and whatnot. And I'm coming forward to please accept my request and to talk about it. I told a little bit to Nick, and now here's what I'm telling you guys. I'm in the process of writing a book about it, and I'm leaving Brainerd out, but I'm putting it into a book because there's a lot of people that ask me questions. Now I'm coming forward to City Council to please consider to fight the issue of assault and rights of victims that being assaulted get their rights, because there could be many out there that already passed away from being assaulted or whatnot. I'm here because I'm not a quitter. I'm a fighter. I want to protect what needs to be protected in the city of Brainerd, and I'm here to help those who are assaulted too. And please consider to think of a way to protect the safety of those who get assaulted.
Thank you, sir. All right, if there's anybody else in the audience that would like to come up and address the council on anything not in the agenda, please do so now. Once again, if you're online and you'd like to address the council, press *3. I'll ask again. If anybody would like to come up to address the council, please do so now. Looks like we don't have anyone else. No one online, Max? All right. And it is 7:41. We will close the public forum. So if that's all you're here for, I can give you a minute to clear the room. If you want to stay and watch, that's great too. All right. Next up, number 7, we have presentations. Looks like we have 2 presentations tonight. First up is 7A, the annual charter presentation for community action. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Dave Bedot, Executive Director of Brainerd Community Action, 723 South 7th Street, Brainerd, home
Welcome.
address 602 North 9th Street. So I am here on behalf of Brainerd Community Action. My partner in crime tonight was unable to make it, had an emergency with her children. So I'm solo tonight. You guys are stuck looking at me, listening to me talk the whole time. So just super fast, the Brainerd Community Action would like to say thank you to the City of Brainerd for our partnership and all the stuff that we've been doing over the last handful of years. Through the charter and through our contract with the city, we have been able to kind of streamline our process and what we do and really take a focus at creating things within the city of Brainerd that not only hit various different demographics, but also are spread out through the entire year and spread out through the entire city as well. So Brainerd Community Action, for those that are not aware, we are a nonprofit organization that's put in place to help people with charitable ideas come up with ways of giving back to their community. That entails all sorts of fun things, like raising money for skate parks, all the way to the Yellow Ribbon and other various projects like that, including the Unlimited Learning, which is a very fun one that we work with, which is trying to have an opportunity for the elderly community to come have presentations and continue their learning process. But as of tonight, what we are talking about is our events through the city of Brainerd, and we are happy to announce that this has been a extremely successful year once again. Obviously, the 4th of July and Arts in the Park are 2 tentpole operations that happen around the middle of the summer, but throughout the entire year, the rest of our activities run everywhere from the sweltering sun to the freezing cold that is known as St. Patrick's Day. So once again, we will be hosting the parade and all those fantastic activities. However, what we're the most proud of is what we've done with our work with the Community Empowerment Fund, which essentially from our Arts in the Park festivities, we take the money that is raised from that. It is our largest fundraiser. We roll that directly into a grant opportunity for people locally in Brainerd to come up with ways of giving back. And that runs the full gamut of activities, and every year it is completely different. The one thing I will say that I think we could do better this next year is we took on concerts in the park. It was our 2nd year of doing it. First year we tested the waters, saw how it worked, it went great. And then we were informed that the center was no longer going to be able to do them. That is a task that we hope to take on. This last year, we didn't quite get it up to the snuff that we were hoping. So next year, that is going to be a large focus for us, is trying to get that entire program going. It may not be every week, as some may hope, but a goal of ours is going to be to make sure that there are both concerts at the new amphitheater, as well as getting back to that traditional Gregory Park bandstand. So, any questions from any of you?
Mr. Chesak?
Yes, Mr. Bideau.
Yes.
In the document you provided, it said signed by the Board of Directors. How many are there?
Board of Directors, right now, I believe we have 8 Board of Directors.
Okay, would we be able to get the names unless they're in there and they're handwritten?
They are not within there, no, I apologize. It says on behalf of the Board of Directors, yes, but
Okay.
I can get you a list of the Board of
Okay,
Directors.
and then you gave a nice spreadsheet here, but I believe staff had reached out to see if we get that in Excel. I can't read it the way it is. the
Oh, I
PDF.
apologize. I will make sure that we send that over in Excel.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all thank you.
It was created in Excel and actually was transported into a PDF, so less work would be just to send the Excel.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Questions? Doesn't look like there's any more questions.
Okay, thank you once
Anything
again.
else?
We look forward to continuing to work with you.
Thank you, Mr. Bideau. All right, next up for presentation 7B, we have an update from Visit Brainerd.
That's okay.
Good evening. My name is Mary Devine Johnson. Address is 1501 Rosewood Street, Brainerd. Business address is 214 South 7th Street in Brainerd. And I'm the Executive Director for Visit Brainerd, which is the official Visitors Bureau and Destination Marketing Organization for the cities of Brainerd and Baxter. First, we want to say thank you. We've been in existence since 1995, was when there was initially a joint powers agreement between the cities of Brainerd and Baxter to go ahead and start enacting a lodging tax. And so for those of you that don't know, when you stay in a short-term lodging entity, there's often a tax on your bill up to 3% in the state of Minnesota. That's an add-on, and that money goes to the local government unit that collects it, and 95% of it is remitted to an organization like Visit Brainerd to be used specifically by state statute for the promotion of the destination as a tourism convention destination. So we have one of the best jobs around. Maybe Community Action would argue that they've got one of the best jobs around, but we get to invite people to come visit us here in Brainerd and Baxter, and use that money to advertise and promote largely outside of the community, to invite them to come and see what we've got going on. I did include a lot of information in my presentation. I don't want to touch on it all. I trust that you can all review it. But again, I just wanted to say thanks for letting me present and give you an update. This will mostly be a preview of where we're going in 2026 versus a recap on 2025. A couple of highlights, though, for 2025 is we did invest about $300,000 in advertising and visitor information services. We're implementing new event calendar technology with our website, which scours multiple Facebook pages and different websites in the community to aggregate it, so that not just one person has to go in and find community events. That utility alone has increased our website traffic immensely, and so we're optimistic that will continue to help with search engine optimization and then providing information to the community as a whole. We also use that information to create our weekly email. I know many of you in here get it, but if you don't, send me an email at mary@visitbrainerd.com called the Weekend Roundup. And so every week we're sending out events that are coming up for Friday, Saturday, Sunday of that week. We get incredible feedback for it. We have about 6,000 people that have opted in to receive that email, and the click-through rate and the open rate for that's about 30%. So it's a great tool for both local and visitors alike. We maintain the lodging tax revenue. We're always about 2 months behind, so I don't have the specific data for 2025 finished yet, but we're looking at about 3% on lodging tax revenue being above year over year. Some of that's an increase probably in heads and beds, people staying in the hotels, and some of it's largely due to the rate that the hotels can charge and what they can garner as well for lodging rates. And then we also took a deeper dive into our strategic planning, looking at the next 5 years. I did send out a survey to the city council and some of the staff, so thank you to those of you that participated in the survey. We also invited staff from both cities to participate in a board planning meeting, and Kevin Yeager and James Kramvik participated on behalf of the city of Brainerd, and so thank you for your time and attention there. We also do have a contract with the Brainerd EDA to help do advertising on behalf of the Brainerd EDA. In terms of our preliminary budget, you'll see that we have about a $500,000 annual budget. $485,000 of that comes from the lodging tax revenue from the hotels in the city of Baxter. About $20,000 comes from the city of Brainerd. We do have some non-tax revenue, that's that EDA contract, to the tune of $53,000. But I'd like to point out that $48,000 of that is actual direct advertising spends. And so we keep less than 10% for a fee from Visit Brainerd. So we're slow, but we're cheap. No, I'm just kidding. We're very good at marketing and advertising, and we do it really at a cost basis just to help the city and keep moving things forward with the EDA initiatives. But we appreciate the contract and the opportunity to be involved at a deeper level with the community, and would love to do that both with Baxter and Crow Wing County too. Non-tax revenue, we do operate a gift store. I don't know how many of you have ever been in there, but at our location in downtown, we have visitor information, but we also have a gift store where we sell Brainerd, Baxter, and Minnesota branded items. And we don't make a lot of money there. It's mostly there as a service, but we are there and collect just a tiny bit of revenue from that. So overall expenses too, we'll be looking at our operations. It's about $230,000. We have 3 staff members. I'm the only full-time staff, and then we have 2 other staff that are an equivalent about 0.75 each. And so that plus rent and all the other utilities are our overall operations. I would like to point out that we run a very lean operation. The industry average is flipped. Generally, it's 60% of the lodging tax revenue is spent on operations and 40% spent on programming, and we're basically the opposite. And so we are able to put the majority of those tax dollars right back into the promotions and the programming, which is what we're statutorily obligated to do. Any questions on the preliminary budget? Concerns there?
Questions from council?
It's not on the budget.
Are you gonna keep going, Mary?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
Maybe save it for the
Yep.
end then? Okay.
We are, the insights from the executive director and kind of where we're headed for 2026. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place here. We're going to focus more on rebranding to Visit Brainerd Baxter. So when this organization was started, it was the Brainerd Baxter Lodging Association. In 2008, we rebranded to Visit Brainerd. And now this year, after 30 years, we're going to rebrand to Visit Brainerd Baxter. It's time, right? Baxter's not just a little community next door anymore. That's where the bulk of the lodging tax revenue comes from. It's where a lot of the dining and retail opportunities and things like that are. We have a real opportunity with Brainerd and Baxter as kind of one community to have a different story to tell. We can talk about the parks, we can talk about the Mississippi River, we can talk about more of an urban experience with shopping, dining, arts, culture, something that is very different than the Lakes area branding that we generally do talk about. Now, we'd be remiss to not capitalize on what everybody knows Brainerd for, but the visitor doesn't understand what a Baxter is. They don't even understand what a Brainerd is. To them, it's anything that's 30 miles around here. So with the dollars that we have and our obligations beginning and ending at the city limits of these 2 communities, it's time to start telling a slightly different story. So going forward, we're going to do both. And we have been for the last few years, but I think an important part of that is then rebranding to Visit Brainerd Baxter. We will be implementing digital kiosks for information services. We have 3 that will be coming into the community at 2 hotels and 1 downtown. And ultimately, our goal is to have as many as 10 to 13 in key locations at the different hotels, possibly the airport, maybe in key spots, whether it be downtown Brainerd or somewhere else. And then we will continue to move forward with that technology to serve the visitor information needs. We'll be focusing on website content and feeding our digital services like our app, the events calendar, the kiosks, and using AI-assisted tools for trip planning. There's just no avoiding AI, right? And so if we can do that, we have to feed the content so that we still are relevant in search engine results instead of just AI answering the questions about the community for us. And we'll be revising our advertising strategy to focus a lot more on video. And then doing some in-market promotions on Facebook where we're talking about different experiences that you can have. 5 best places to get a burger, that type of thing. So when people are here and perhaps they are out at the resorts, they come to town and utilize the things that we have in the community too. So I think those are the highlights. You can certainly see how we define the market and where we advertise. It's largely still the Twin Cities. We do have a couple of other key metropolitan areas that definitely need our attention. We do a media mix of radio, broadcast, print, online video, streaming services, search engine optimization, keyword advertising, a whole bunch of different things that go into this $300,000 budget to try and make sure that people understand where we are, who we are, and what they can do when they're here. Any other questions? I know you've got an agenda in
I have a quick
front.
question for you, Mary. Do
Yeah.
you know if there's any other communities in Crow Wing County besides Brainerd and Baxter that have a lodging tax?
So there is one, the Whitefish Area Lodging Association exists, and so that's Cross Lake, Jenkins, a couple of townships, and they've had some people pull out, and so I should know, but I don't exactly know who's part of that consortium right now, but that's it.
Okay.
None of the other communities have a lodging tax. We do a lot of the heavy lifting for the region, just because of the brand of Brainerd, but no, nobody else does, nor does the county. I think it's a real opportunity for us as a region to continue the conversation. I do know the Brainerd Lakes Chamber, 2 years ago, I think, reached out and worked with many of the resorts to see if they could get the communities and the townships on board, and they're not there. And the resorts have been asked at least 3 times in the last 30 years if they want to come on board, and they don't.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
yeah.
Mr. Chesak?
Yes, thank you, Mary. I noticed one thing in there, if I got it correct, is something the Visit Brainerd Baxter would promote is the telling of tall tales.
Yeah.
Is that, you get your best material from the far end of our dais over here, is that?
You're pointing at Kelly?
Not quite that far.
Not quite that far. Do I get my best material from that tall tale?
Johnson?
No, I do not.
But do you have a
I'm
favorite,
brilliant in my own right.
do you have
No,
a
just-
favorite tall tale?
You know, really what we're doing is it's a theme for the advertising messages as a whole and kind of playing off of Paul Bunyan and being in Paul Bunyan land. And it's kind of a cute campaign where we have kids that are saying, you know, I ate a pizza as big as my car. You know,
Okay.
that's what we mean by tall tales. So
Okay, well-
from the point of view of kids.
It sounds like you're talking about spinning the yarn, and I know somebody that we could consult with that.
I'm
So
always
very-
open to suggestions,
Very
Jeff.
near and dear to my heart, that legendary yarn spinner, so.
Yeah,
I'll get back to you on that.
please
but thank-
do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Yeager?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks, Mary. Appreciate
Yeah.
you being here. My question is regarding your media mix. How does your media mix? Are there any anomalies in our media mix that is widely dissimilar from other DMOs out there, or does everyone kind of have the same game plan these days?
I think most have the same game plan. I probably do a bit more with broadcast radio
Okay.
and print, largely because we have a larger budget, and I'm a bit more efficient with that. Some of the other DMOs have smaller budgets, and so they focus a lot more on digital. But what we spend on digital is very comparable to what the other DMOs would do.
Okay.
To answer your question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions for Mary?
Do you think Jackson will be in bed by 8?
No, I don't.
Simple. All right, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. Thank you, Mary,
Okay.
for the
Thank you. I
presentation.
appreciate the time. And as always, if you have suggestions or anything, let me know. We love working with the city on all the different levels that we can. And we'll continue to promote the parks and the rivers and the things to do here and go
Thank
from
you
there.
for everything you do.
So,
Keep it
thank
up.
you.
All right, that does it for presentations. Moving on to number 8, this is council committee reports. First up, we have Safety and Public Works Committee Chair Tad Erickson.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. We just had 2 items on our agenda, the first of which is a final pay request for 2025 chip seal project. Motion coming out of committee is to approve that final pay request for 2025 chip seal project in the amount of $158,752.90, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Erickson, second by Chesak. Mr. Erickson?
The work's complete. Staff had a contingency built in there, and the work is complete and ready to go, so not much to say on it.
Under budget.
Yes, a little bit under budget.
Excellent. Any
Mr. President?
more discussion? Mr. Chesak?
Yeah, I guess I forgot to ask this in committee, but when we have a project like this, I guess I'm asking Mr. Dean, this was completed several months ago, I assume, right? That's an assumption I don't like to make, but.
The striping was a little bit later.
What,
The paint markings were a little bit later in the season. The chip seal was earlier in the summer, yep.
so how long ago would you say it was actually completed?
October.
Okay, so now, my question is, so the company that did this work, they're still waiting to get paid, right? This is approval?
Essentially, this was us trying to agree with final quantities with the contractor before bringing it to the council.
Okay, so they've done all the work and everything, so I'm just trying to get this in my head. They've waited this long, and this is how long it takes our process to take place. No criticism, I'm just making.
No, sometimes it depends on the contractor. Sometimes it's a very quick process. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, depends on their subcontractors as well.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Mr.
Okay.
President.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Motion carries. Chairman Erickson.
Thank you. And then our second and last item is change order number 3, improvement 2313. The motion coming out of committee is to approve that change order as presented in the amount of $12,881.74, and I so move.
Second.
By Erickson, second by Chesak. Chairman Erickson?
Yeah, so there was 4 items, as you can see in your packet there. One relating to the sanitary sewer structure in the median. This all pertains to the Trunk Highway 371B and Willow Street roundabout. There was a structure that was discovered there that they needed to raise up. The second item was related to removing a foundation of an old sign that was found during excavation. Third, some corrective work regarding failing subgrade. And then lastly, an extension to get, for the project to extend the project end date to October 31st. As we all know, I think it was completed on the 31st as well. There was some other MnDOT items that they're taking care of, but as far as these, the 2 items that are listed, one is listed as Section 4, and then the other item's listed Section 5. Both of those are state aid and HSIP eligible, and so those will be paid for through those funding sources.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Erickson. Any more discussion? Mr. Chesak?
Yeah, I'd just like to note, for the record, that the Section 6 says, covers an extension date, covers an extension to the completion date of October 31st to accommodate delays from the material supplier. And again, I'm making that as a point because that meant the construction still had to continue until the end of October. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Chesak. Any more discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Motion carries. Chairman Erickson?
That is the end of the report.
Thank you, Chairman Erickson. Moving on to 8B, Personnel and Finance Committee Chair Gabe Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have 5 items on our agenda, the first of which is a vehicle for the Lakes Area Drug Investigation Division. And the motion is to authorize staff to replace the 2014 city-owned vehicle with a leased vehicle in 2026, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Bevins. Johnson?
The task force did allocate from their budget $7,800 annually to give to the city to offset the cost of the lease. We think that should cover the lease and the insurance, more or less.
Okay. Very good. Mr. Yeager?
Yeah, thank you. Just real quick, a question. Maybe perhaps this is for Mr. Davis, but what was the decision made on the vehicle that we're replacing? Are we fixing the AC and selling it, or just selling it, or, oh, sorry, please, Mr.
Johnson or Davis?
Yeah, go with chief.
Chief, go ahead.
When we get to that point, I would consult with Enterprise that
Understood.
sells the
Thank you.
vehicles and see what they'd recommend.
Understood, thank you. That's all.
And I would add, we were told downstairs that the $8,000 estimate is with a working air conditioning system.
All right. What is it without? We don't
We'd
know.
have to consult with Enterprise.
All right.
6,
All
right? It was 2.
right. Yeah, or less.
Power windows too?
Any more discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Motion carries. Chairman Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next up is an MOA with the IUOE Parks Union for downtown snow removal compensation. The motion out of committee is to approve the MOA as presented between the City of Brainerd and the IUOE Park Maintenance Division regarding compensation when performing downtown snow removal duties, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Bevins. Johnson?
So the current language of the contract with this IUOE group is that overtime accrues after 40 hours of work in a week. The other IUOE in the same building work group gets paid overtime after 8 hours in a single day. Because in snow events, sometimes there's a lot of overtime accrued in one day. This IUOE group wanted that language, so they requested we have a meeting after we had decided to make them do the snow removal. This memorandum of agreement would be through the end of the contract, end of 2026, and the language of their compensation for overtime would match that of the street group.
Okay. More discussion? Mr. Yeager?
Yeah, thank you. I have a question on this, perhaps for Connie, perhaps Chris, maybe some help. I'm a little confused by this. This seems to incentivize them to do the snow removal downtown at the end of the shift, not the beginning, but perhaps I'm misunderstanding that. I'm a little fuzzy on when prime rate hours are paid versus, and when it switches over, and what tasks, how that affects what tasks, if you understand the question.
Mr. Johnson, can you?
It's my understanding, and Director Habegors could correct me if I'm wrong, that they remove the snow when they're directed to remove the snow. They don't pick when it's removed. So if the snow is there overnight, they show up early in the morning.
Understood.
Comes in the afternoon, maybe they stay late. But they don't really get to pick when they're removing snow.
Okay, I think I understand. Thank you.
Satisfying?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if I would be trying to move that snow last, if I'm getting paid time and a half for it, if there's certain parts of snow removal
I
that.
think it'll be any day they remove snow
Okay.
if they have overtime. Yeah.
Understood. Okay, thank you. That's all.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, that was gonna be my question, is this directed specifically at the snow removal and not just a broadening of the description of what their pay is?
The motion is directly to apply it to when performing downtown snow removal duties. The language in the contract may be broader than that, but
Maybe?
I read it, I don't have it memorized. Maybe somebody else could address
Mr.
that.
Habegors, do you want to try to answer that?
Yes, so their shift is from 7 to 3:30, and because they come in early, that will be that overtime. So they work their normal shift, but because they're coming in early, that is because of, and that's the overtime that will be assessed to downtown.
Typically, they start at 4 a.m. when it's a snow emergency is what you're saying. correct?
Sometimes 3 a.m.
Okay.
and earlier, yes.
Which would put them on that task first. So, okay. More questions, Mr. Chesak?
Just so I'm clear, if they come in at 3 and their normal shift begins at 7:30, everything between 3 and 7:30 is time and a half when they're doing snow?
Correct.
And then that would then pay the downtown properties that are assessed would be paying the time and a half rate. Is that correct?
We go through our formula, and yes, they will be assessed that. And they won't be completely finished by 7:30. They'll actually maybe go into the 8, 9 o'clock, so that will be straight time, and that will also be assessed.
You can keep track. Okay, so if they put in so if they start at 3 and they're working till 7:30 to, what is it, 4 or 4:30?
3:30.
3:30. They won't need to go beyond 3:30 then to do the other normal work that's typically done on any given day after snowfall?
Yes, that was the one concern at the park board, and most of those duties will be done, and that is why we created a priority list to get the highest priority done first, and then what is not completed will be carried on to the next day.
And these dollar amounts were calculated in the document you gave us a couple months ago showing
Correct.
the different snowfalls?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, did you have something?
Yeah, so I'm more confused. Sorry, I'm more confused now than I was to begin with, because now it sounds like it's mostly overtime. The removal of the snow is mostly going to be overtime.
Correct.
I don't understand how that was calculated. We never talked about overtime when we talked from up here, because you showed numbers. But the numbers didn't really talk about overtime in those numbers, but now I'm reading that it was calculated in there. But it sounds like now most of it is going to be overtime, because they already have other tasks. Am I wrong in hearing that?
I think that's the crux of my question is if we're, if we're billing the downtown for this service, my concern is that snow removal, that we're coming in early to do snow removal, but we may not necessarily be doing snow removal all day. So we're billing the downtown an unequal amount to all the snow removal that we do as a city, I guess. That's where I'm a little fuzzy with this. It seems like it's surgically pointed to downtown on the overtime. That was my question. But I'm not saying that's the case. That's what I'm confused about.
It is a little confusing. I don't know if we can come back with something more clear on how this formula is formulated. Do we already have something in one of our previous packets on how you put that together? Published
Jesse
publicly?
helped with the analysis on that.
Jesse, you have that?
Mr. President, I think I can help out. I think an easier way to look at this would be days that they're doing snow removal. That might end up being like a 12-hour day. So their normal work day would be an 8-hour work day. So the additional 4 hours would be the overtime period. The way we did the calculation on comparing contractor versus internal staff was we attributed those additional, let's say, 4 hours of overtime towards the downtown snow removal. Depending on the event, some events take a little bit more than a few hours to get done. So we included, potentially a 6-hour piece downtown, which might be, 4 hours of overtime plus maybe 2 hours of straight time. So it depended on the amount of snow that we were estimating and attributing the appropriate amount of hours for that.
Okay.
But we can definitely go any way the council would like to do. But it does run through a whole different formula of, it's not just 100% assessed to the downtown. The city picks up roughly about half of that amount right off the top. And then it's split again further based on frontage. So we take on, as a city, we take on frontage next to our parking lots and alleys. Private properties take on the frontage next to their buildings. So that's how that analysis was put together for Mike, was taking a lot of those estimates, but understanding that everything over their normal shift would have been overtime. So we included that with the analysis.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, and I supported this motion downstairs. I asked some of the same questions and left more confused than I came in without really receiving any answers that cleared anything up. But ultimately, what this is doing to our employees is giving them the same compensation formula that we give to our other employees that are in the same garage doing snow removal activities.
So regarding the employees, there's no question in my mind that this is the right thing to do, but maybe what we need more clarification on, maybe between now and the next meeting, is what the formula is, how it's changed, if it's changed compared to what it would have been with a contractor. I think in the end of the winter, we would like to compare that to whatever we want to do next year, or see if something needs to change, I think. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, can I just make one request? The park board meets tomorrow. It would be nice to have this in front of them, just the same item, so that they're at least on the same page.
Thank you. Mr. Shezza?
When we vote on this, I would like to make a motion to what you just suggested, Mr. O'Day, because
Have a motion. Yep.
when we vote on this motion on the table.
You want to make a second motion after this motion?
Well,
Okay.
Mike, I can make it easy, Mike, and just add your request to get more information on how this is allocated at the next council meeting, and just add that to my motion.
Friendly amendment?
Yes.
Seconders okay?
Yes.
All right. All right. Any more discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Motion carries. Chairman Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. You thought that was confusing. Next up is a temporary transit operations specialist position. The motion is to authorize staff to hire a temporary part-time employee to assist the transit division and utilize the transit operations specialist wage grid when hiring the temporary position, and I so move.
Second. Motion by Johnson, second by Bevins. Chairman Johnson?
Yeah, we approved this in committee downstairs. It hasn't been to the TAC. It is in the budget for the transportation. They can absorb it with their current revenues coming in. Any questions, I think would have to go to staff, though.
Okay. Thank you. Any more discussion? Mr. Chesak?
Yeah, we had this position before, and can I assume that that position ended based on the number of hours worked? Or do we have a certain individual in mind to pick up the reins again on this? Does anybody answer that?
Chris Schubert, HR?
So by state law, employees can work up to 67 working days before they are eligible for union representation. So when that person hit that 67 days, we terminated that position. The temporary position was then done at that point. That was in 2020, that was earlier this year that we terminated that position. Now we're asking for another temporary position for 2026.
Is it possible to get the same individual being they're familiar with the position, or is that?
We can always ask.
All right, that's all I got, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chesak. More discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Motion carries. Chairman Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next up is the revised pilot contribution policy 2003-01, payment in lieu of tax contribution. The motion is to approve the revised contribution to city policy 2003-1 with implementation of said policy revisions to take effect January 2026, and I so move.
Second. Motion by Johnson, second by Bevins. Chairman Johnson.
So if you recall, we requested the Public Utility Commission to modify the payment in lieu of taxes. Instead of it being a per kilowatt hour basis, it would be a percent of total electric basis. And we requested that they go from 3% in 26, 4% in 27, and almost near the national median, 5% in 2028. They did meet, they did discuss it. They did change the policy to be a percentage of total revenues and set it at 3%. And we'll know about 4 or 5% in the future after they do a rate study, seeing if that will increase rates or not.
Okay. So step one of our request is technically approved by them, but we still don't really know that I can recall if it's totally up to us or not.
Well, the charter does say it's the Public Utility Commission policy approved by the city council. So since they did amend the policy, now we approve it.
Okay. I have no problem with this. I'm just trying to figure it out. Any more discussion?
Mr. President?
Chesak.
Yeah, what is the limit we could actually see on this pilot if we, I mean, what, is there a?
That's a good question. Mr. Langle, do you have any idea what that would be?
I am not aware of a cap
Okay. There might not be a limit. 100%.
It'd be tough.
All right. We probably won't ask that, I'm guessing, but any more discussion?
Well, I mean, I ask because where do we stop? I mean, it's a philosophical question, of course, but
Yeah.
I just see this as taking from ratepayers and instead of taxpayers, property taxpayers. And I don't know how that aligns with trying to keep our rates for electric as low as we can to serve our customers, but that's my position on it.
Yeah. Could look at it that way. I think it's just, we're trying to figure out what is customary and normal in the market, at least in our state or other states, but we'll try and figure that out. Okay, any more discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Motion carries. Chairman Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Final item is a temporary service agreement technology for the city of Baxter. And the motion is to authorize staff to enter into a temporary service agreement to provide technical support to the city of Baxter during their staff vacancy, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Bevins. Chairman Johnson.
So the city of Baxter has a vacancy in their IT GIS director position, or they don't yet, but they will in the next few days. And they're going to need help, so we're just gonna help on an as-needed basis for a short period of time until they can fill that position and have their IT department staffed again. They will be paying us the total cost of what our employees cost to us, so it'll be a break even. IT said they had enough capacity and willingness, and Baxter's IT infrastructure is largely the same or very similar to ours, so they know the systems and they should be able to help out pretty easily.
Thank you.
And if there is a 5% admin fee, so we will have a couple extra bucks for the extra work staff has on it.
Great. It's good to see the two cities working together.
Yeah.
There once was a time where that was not possible, but things have changed. Mr. Chesak?
Yes, on the, it says our IT will be meeting with the Baxter personnel and having to go over some items. And is there any idea what kind of time they'll be spending on that? Does anybody have an answer to that question?
Anyone from staff want to answer that question?
Jeff, this is Sean. We're gonna do 1 hour on the GIS side and probably 3 or 4 hours on the IT side, so.
Will we be charging for that time?
Yes, I believe so, yep.
Okay, thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Chesak. Any more discussion? Mr. Johnson?
I guess I would like to add that if something, an onerous, really big project comes up, we won't take that on. Well, they'll go out somewhere else. This is just gonna be basic, maintain their system until they can get it, their
Day-to-day.
position filled. Yep.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Motion carries. Chairman Johnson.
End of report.
Thank you, Chairman Johnson. Moving on to number 9, this is unfinished business. First up, 9A is a call for applicants, and first up we have Mayor Bedell.
Oh, the perfect place for the mayor's business under unfinished business, because a mayor's business is never complete. I've got a handful of applications that have come into me. However, we're going to hold off in this meeting, and we will do nominations at our next meeting, therefore to give people a fair opportunity for some of these boards that are opening up. Don't want to just fill them up immediately, give people an opportunity to get applications in. But this is your warning. At our next meeting, I will be making nominations. So if you're interested in any of the following, now is your chance to get your application in. Following commissions and boards have positions available. Charter Commission, 2 terms expiring 2025, 2 terms expiring 2026. Economic Development Authority, 1 term expiring 2028. Housing Redevelopment Authority, 2 terms expiring 2030. Library Board, 5 terms expiring 2031. Park Board, 1 term expiring 2028, 1 term expiring 2029. Public Utilities Commission, 1 term expiring 2028, 1 term expiring 2030. Transportation Advisory Committee, 1 term expiring 2026, 2 terms expiring 2027.
Thank you. And as council president, I have 2 terms expiring 2028 for the Planning Commission. The one that I'm aware of that we have an application is Don Gorham. Am I correct? So I'm looking for a motion to appoint Don Gorham to another term on the Planning Commission.
So move, Yeager.
Second.
By Yeager, second by Bevins. Any more discussion? None, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against, same sign. Welcome back aboard, Mr. Gorham. I also have 2 open terms for the Water Tower Committee with no expiration dates. Next up, we have 9B. This is a resolution regarding Voyager Heights EAW. Mr. Kramvik, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. President. So prior to a final decision by City Council, the council is required to complete an environmental assessment worksheet for the development. The EAW is not meant to approve or deny a project, but instead act as a source of information to guide other approvals and permitting decisions. Keepers has hired Westwood Engineering to complete the EAW, and Westwood is available virtually for any questions, along with a representative from Keepers in the audience. Attached are findings and a resolution declaring the EAW sufficient based on the criteria in Minnesota Rules Part 4410.1700. The project does not have the potential for significant environmental effects. Make the council aware, Keepers is working on a PUD amendment that will lessen the units from 190 to 176 in the same location. Again, because it's lessening the intensity, it does not affect the EAW. So with that, staff recommends to move to approve the attached resolution declaring that the EAW is sufficient, and I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Kramvik. So if anybody has questions for staff or, I'm sorry, I forget the Keepers or Westwood. If anybody has questions for any of them, now would be the time. Otherwise, we're looking for a motion for that resolution to be passed. Mr. Shezak.
I have a question on the numbers he gave about the number of units from 190 to 176. Is that just going to be a reduction in all buildings, or how is that applied?
So it is not. So at the next planning commission meeting, there'll be a PUD amendment request. Originally, there was 5 buildings. The 3 buildings to the north are relatively going to be left unchanged with the site plan, as well as the floor plan. The 2 buildings that were planned to the south that were also the same 38-unit buildings will be combined into one larger building. I believe it's 62 units.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Mr. Erickson?
Yeah, I've got a question. I don't know if this is for staff or for Westwood, but diverting the stormwater outside the Duisma, where does that end up going? I guess I'm just more or less just curious. I couldn't tell from the.
Yep, so there'll be a site plan at the planning commission meeting, but it'll be diverted along Business 371 outside of the Duisma.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion, questions? Mr.
I have a
Johnson?
motion when you're ready.
Yeah, go for it.
I'd move to approve the attached resolution declaring the EAW is sufficient.
Second.
By Johnson, I think we got a second by Yeager. Any more discussion on the motion? Tony, call the roll.
Yeager,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Bevins,
Yes.
Chesak,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yep.
O'Day.
Yes, that resolution carries. Next up, we have 9C. This is a final reading of proposed ordinance 1599, fee schedules. James Kramvik.
Thank you, Mr. President. City Council held the first reading at the December 1st, 2025 meeting. Staff provided a summary of the proposed new and amended fees with staff. With that, staff recommends to hold the public hearing on proposed ordinance 1599, conduct the final reading of proposed 1599, dispense with the actual reading. Note, a vote to dispense with the actual reading must be unanimous. And then number 3 would be to approve proposed ordinance 1599. And number 4, approve the attached resolution approving a summary publication of proposed ordinance 1599.
All right, thank you, James. Does anybody on council have questions for staff? Doesn't look like it. With that being the case, we will open the public hearing. It is 8:28. So if you're here to speak on this item regarding ordinance 1599, please come forward. And if you're online, press *3. I'll ask again, if anybody's here to speak on this, please come forward. Nobody online, Max? All right. With that, we will close the public hearing at 8:28. Next, we're looking to conduct the final reading of proposed ordinance 1599 and dispense with the actual reading.
So move, Yeager.
Second.
Motion by Yeager, second by Johnson. This is a vote to dispense with the actual reading must be unanimous. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. No, Tony? Oh, you're shaking your head, no?
Voice vote.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. All right, that motion carries. Next up, we have approval of the proposed ordinance 1599. Looking for a motion?
So moved the ordinance, Johnson.
Second, Yeager.
Motion by Johnson, second by Yeager. Any discussion? Tony?
Yeager?
Yep.
Erickson?
Yes.
Bevins?
Yes.
Chesak?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
O'Day?
Yes. That ordinance is approved. Next up, we're looking for a motion to approve the attached resolution approving a summary publication of ordinance 1599.
So move, Yeager.
Motion by Yeager,
Second.
second by Erickson. Any discussion? Tony?
Yeager?
Yep.
Erickson?
Yes.
Bevins?
Yes.
Chesak?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yep.
O'Day?
Yes. All right, that resolution carries. Moving on to the next item. 9D, we have a final reading of proposed ordinance 1600, rezoning from CN2 to general commercial. James Kramvik, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Orion Dutton has applied for a conditional use permit to allow for the construction and operation of a new Brainerd Animal Hospital facility at the corner of 28th Street and Oak Street. In addition, the applicant has requested to rezone the parcel from Contemporary Neighborhood 2 zoning district to a general commercial zoning district and amend the future land use map. At the December 1st meeting, City Council conducted the first reading and approved the CUP and resolution contingent upon the rezoning. So with that, staff recommends to conduct the final reading of proposed ordinance 1600, an ordinance amending the zoning map and dispense with the actual reading. Note a vote to must be unanimous in order to dispense with the actual reading. And second, to approve proposed ordinance 1600. Again, a note, in order to rezone from residential to commercial, it will require approval from 5 council members, and I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Kramvik. Anybody have questions for Mr. Kramvik? Doesn't look like it. If we don't have questions for staff, we're looking for a motion to conduct the final reading of proposed ordinance 1600, an ordinance amending the zoning map, and dispense with the actual reading.
So move.
Motion by Yeager.
No.
Chesak, second by Bevins. Any discussion on that motion? All right, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we're looking for a motion to approve proposed ordinance 1600.
So move.
Second. Motion by Chesak, second by Bevins. Any discussion? Tony?
Yeager?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Bevins?
Yes.
Chesak?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
O'Day?
Yes. All right. That ordinance is passed. Now, this ordinance doesn't require the next step we usually have with the summary. Okay? All right, moving on. That does it for unfinished business. Number 10, we have new business. 10A is a brokerage agreement extension with Camp Realty. And this is, again, James Kramvik. Take it away.
Thank you, Mr. President. The EDA considered the listing agreement at their December 4th meeting and unanimously recommended approval of the agreement. City Council must also consider the agreement as the property listings are owned by the city. Camp is currently working on a purchase and development agreement with Central Minnesota Dermatology for 3 properties located in the industrial park. Wanted to note that 1 industrial property was added to the agreement. With that, staff recommends to move to authorize the EDA to enter into the attached listing agreement with Camp Realty, and I can answer any questions.
Thank you, James. Does anybody have questions for staff? Doesn't look like we have any questions right now. If there are no questions or concerns, then we're looking for a motion to authorize the EDA to enter into the attached listing agreement with Camp Realty.
So move, Yeager.
Motion by Yeager. Looking for a second.
Second.
Second by Erickson. Any discussion on the motion?
Mr. President.
Mr. Bevins had his hand up first, and then we'll go to you, Mr. Chesak. Mr.
Mr.
Bevins.
Chair, I'm just going to vote against this for the reasons that I've stated every single time this company comes up for the last 2 years. They do absolutely nothing.
Okay.
I'd rather burn the money. It'd be more fun. Or give it to the shelter. So.
Okay. Mr. Chesak?
Yeah, to Mr. Bevins' point, if we do not approve this agreement, what does that leave us with the real estate environment that we're working on?
We would have no listing agent for these properties, would be my understanding. Mr. Kramvik is nodding yes.
According to Mr. Bevins, it doesn't appear that we have one now anyway. Go ahead, mister. All yours.
Okay. Any more discussion?
I thought Mr. Kramvik was going to say something.
Oh, no, he was just nodding yes to your question,
Oh, okay.
or to my answer, I guess.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
Anything to add, James?
Nothing to add. Yeah, the agreement would terminate at the end of the year if there was no extension or no new agreement.
Okay. I will say that we have had, at the EDA level, we've had multiple presentations on ideas for some of the developments in these areas. It's not that they've done nothing. We do have a agreement sort of pending with a project in our industrial park through camp to build a clinic along Highway 45. There are other people reaching out to her that she'll mention, but she also has some anonymity that she tries to keep with those customers, so. Can't control every aspect of when you put something on the market, is it gonna sell immediately? Gotta be patient with some of it, but yeah, we would like to move them as fast as possible. That I agree with. Any more discussion? Mr. Johnson?
I'm not going to say that Councilman Bevins is wrong, but I am going to support this, just so we have a listing agent listing the properties for when somebody comes in to buy it. We have somebody do all the paperwork for us.
Okay. All right. Any more discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Say four, and 2 against. That motion carries. Moving on to 10B, this is a shared service agreement with the EDA. Again, James Kramvik.
Thank you, Mr. President. The EDA considered and approved the shared service agreement with the city at their December 4th meeting in the amount of $17,000. So with that, staff recommends to move to approve the attached shared service agreement with the EDA.
Thank you, James. Anybody have questions for James? Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, just a question from the council side of things. Like, has the number of hours spent by staff decreased in the past year?
So me and Connie did do an analysis on this. I would say there has been a slight decrease as I've taken, I guess, more of the role of the EDA and I guess less from the city administrator from previous.
Thank you.
Okay. More questions? If not, then, did we already get a motion? Looking for a motion.
Move to approve, Johnson.
Second, Yeager.
Motion by Johnson, second by Yeager. Any more discussion on that motion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, we have 10C. This is council member representation regarding the Oak Street reconstruction in a project management team. And this falls on Jesse. Go ahead, Mr. Dean.
Thank you, Mr. President. So we're about to kick off the reconstruction project process. Some of those pieces are going to be like the corridor study, development of the concept of the roadway, and some other steps along the way. We are establishing that team now and looking to kind of kick that process up. And we're looking at the council to potentially appoint at least 2 members of the council to kind of provide some input and guidance to WIDSET during some of these initial phases of the project.
Thank you, Jesse. Could you tell us exactly who else would be on this team if the council were to join these meetings?
A couple city staff members, myself, potentially Director Sandy, and then WIDSET as well.
Okay, it's not a MnDOT.
It is not. This is
It's
our
a state aid road, but they're not involved.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Johnson?
Yeah, what's the projected timeline of this project management team? When would they start meeting? When would they be completed in their work?
It'd probably be in a few months. We'd probably have our first meeting. It'd be about once a month. Especially, it may not necessarily be every month either. Depends on what the process is, that stage of the process at that time. Really, when WIDSET is going to need some of that input and guidance for the next steps as they're developing things like the corridor study and stuff like that. Probably for the first couple years, and then there'll be once the concept plans have been determined and it's more into the refining of the design plans, we probably don't need to continue to meet as a PMT because most of the guidance has been provided at that point.
Thank you.
All right. So we need to decide if we want to, as a council, send 2 of our individuals into those meetings. We could do 3. We probably want to avoid doing more than 3. unless you want to announce those all as public meetings. They just go a lot smoother if they're not involving more and more members. But any input is good. Mr. Chesak?
I really don't understand why staff would like to have 2 or 3 council members in on these meetings. I mean, I'm appreciative that they think there's maybe considered important, but whatever we come back with as a council member to this council from that meeting is the same information can come back to us from staff. I'm not necessarily, like I said, I appreciate the invitation per se, but I'm not really sure what's needed.
Sure. I can say that as part of the project management team with the 210 rebuild, it was a lot of conversation that needed to happen. And when it does get to the council level, at that time, that discussion can maybe go a little quicker because there's a lot of background that some of the council will know, whether it's 2 or 3 people, or 1, or whatever it may be. But it is helpful. Mr. Broyles, you have something to add?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just kind of want to piggyback on what Councilman Chesak and yourself commented on. When I first saw this agenda item come across my desk, I asked staff, I said, do we have a precedent for having elected officials on these project management teams? And they said that we did. I will say from my experience, it's probably more atypical. I don't very often see elected officials on a team like this, but I think there's some value, and if we have some precedent, we just certainly would extend that invitation to the council members. But if you prefer this to staff to take care of this and just update the council as appropriate, we can go either way.
Right. That's what we're here to decide. Mr. Erickson, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I was just going to add I guess, 2 things. One, I think as far as the role, I think there's just that, added layer of communication, almost like a liaison back to the council, just to kind of share some of the details. And then I do have a question maybe for Jesse. With this particular project, don't we have additional costs built in for more of almost a design vision, community visioning? You had talked, could you maybe elaborate on that? Because I feel like that's maybe an important tie-in with that. As elected, we have some representation, so then we have the ability to kind of take that feedback and maybe share it back with council.
That is correct. So part of the one piece, I'll point out the corridor study specifically. You're rolling a lot of different things in there, planning and zoning, future land use, future potential development, and how it would potentially affect the corridor, and then filtering in some decisions into that corridor to make sure that it fits not only the character of the city, but for that future planning and zoning and land use. So there's a lot of different pieces in there, and having that council feedback for future city planning rolled into that, that's where some of that value comes in from a staff perspective, is having that come in from our elected leaders.
Good on that, Mr. Erickson?
Thank you.
Okay. Any more discussion? Mr. Bevins?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I certainly was somewhat surprised to see this as well for all the reasons mentioned, but now that our engineer has just explained the broadened scope of what the team will look at that could affect the next 20 years, I certainly will support this. However, this will be the 4th time the tar isn't even set on the last time that we poured this road. This will be the 4th time, not counting the fact that we did a large percentage with the Harrison School project, that this road has been resurfaced and dug up and resurfaced and dug up and resurfaced and paid for by the taxpayers. I hope we look at why it doesn't seem to last. I mean, I actually have an idea myself, but I'm not an engineer. But it would seem if I had to pay, well, and I do pay portions of the Highway 18 Oak Street reconstruction every time, why this road so often? It seems something's up. So maybe that project management team can look into that, so we don't have to do it again one more time before I die.
Agreed. You're going to live a long time, though, so that might happen again.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Chesak.
Yeah, can you, Jesse, is it possible to just get the start point of this on Oak Street and going east, or what's the length of this on the entire street from?
The scope of the reconstruction is essentially where the last project ended, roughly at about 19th Street and out to the intersection with Highways 18 and 25.
And do you know when that was last redone?
It was the early 2000s when the highway was first turned back to the city.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. More questions? See none? I guess we're just looking for direction.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to put 2 council members on the project management team.
Okay, would you like to, that's a motion. I guess we're waiting for a second.
Second, Jaeger.
Motion by Bevan, second by Jaeger. So we have a motion to discuss. We can maybe amend that motion, or we can figure it out afterwards on exactly what 2 members we would put on there, if so. But maybe we'll just pass this or fail this motion, and then we'll discuss afterwards. Any more discussion?
If we pass this motion without identifying anybody, perhaps after, if the motion passes, the people interested could just notify Nick and.
Yeah, or we can figure it out right now.
Okay.
Either way.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. That motion passes. So if anybody would like to volunteer, throw their name in the hat to be one of those 2.
Mr. President, I would, as safety and public works, I'd be happy to
Great.
be one of the members if that's.
Okay. Erickson would like to do it. Anyone else over here? Mr. Johnson?
I'm reluctant to sign up for it because I don't know how, I mean, the commitment seems longer than I'm interested in signing up for. But it is in my ward, and it is the entry point to the city into the 4th ward. So I'll sign up for it for the time being.
I think you 2 would be a great team. Mr. Mayor?
I think it's a great spot. It's a corridor to your house.
It is.
I love it. I think it's a great spot.
Casey's to my house.
So we have 2 volunteers. Everybody okay with that? Want to wrap that into a motion?
I'll move to approve those 2.
Motion to approve those 2.
Second.
Second by Chesak. I think we know what you meant. Any discussion?
and
Johnson and Erickson. Excellent.
for life.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. All right, we have a project management team. Moving on to 10D, we have a resolution for the 2026 levy for the city and the HRA. This one is for Connie Hillman, Finance Director.
Thank you, Council President. The final levy for pay year 2026 for the city and the HRA need to be certified to the county by December 30th. As a reminder, the HRA levy is a separate levy from the city's levy. It does not part or affect the city's levy, but it is set by the city council. As you know, the final levy can be lower but cannot be higher than the preliminary levy that was set in September. The resolution was included in the packet, has the amount for the city's levy blank, and the amount listed for the HRA is a dollar amount set at the preliminary levy. Included in the agenda request were various levy amounts to assist the council in setting the levy. Other options are available for council as well. A levy in the amount of $7,435,323, or a 4.75% increase over 2025, was used for the budget public hearing and is what was used in the budget documents as well. We're looking for a motion to adopt the resolution setting the city and HRA levies for pay year 2026.
Thank you, Connie. Anybody have questions? Mr. Johnson?
No questions. Motion when you're ready.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I move to adopt the resolution setting the city of Brainerd's levy at $7,435,323 and $227,866 for the Brainerd HRA, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Bevins. Any discussion on that motion?
I'll speak to it.
Mr. Johnson?
I think we've spent plenty of conversation. I think we're all kind of in agreement where this is a good place to be for this year moving forward, and hope we all support it.
It's a much better position than we saw in September, so. Great work by staff. Any more comments?
Mr. President?
Mr. Chesak?
And I'm going to say it again, I just want to say it ad nauseum. if we had funded the airport in line with what they were asking for last year, this would be about close to 3% lower, same amount. So, just so, I mean, anybody who voted for the levy for the airport that was $1,000 for this year should understand that this was going to happen, so. Anyway, that's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Chesak. Anyone else? Tony?
Yeager?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Bevins?
Yes.
Chesak?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
O'Day?
Yes. That resolution carries. Moving on to 10E, 2026 budgets. And again, this is Connie Hillman.
Thank you. The city council needs to adopt a budget for at least the general fund, or what we call the working funds, by December 30th. The working funds, as presented, had a final levy with a 4.75% increase over 2025. Other budgets presented for adoption tonight are the capital, transit, recycling, parking lot, permanent improvement, mayor's contingency, and sanitary and storm sewer funds as well. The library fund will be approved at after the first of the year. The Parks Department budget was also separated out for council as information as it is part of the working fund budget. We're looking for a motion to adopt the budgets as presented or with adjustments.
All right, thank you, Connie. Anybody have questions for Connie or staff? If not, we're looking for another motion.
Got a motion?
Mr. Johnson?
I'd move to adopt the budgets as presented, and I so move.
Motion by Johnson, second by Chesak. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. That motion carries. That is it for new business. Moving on to number 11, staff reports. Tony left the room. So we'll go with Jesse Dean, city engineer.
Merry Christmas, Mayor and Council.
Merry Christmas to you too. Chief Davis.
Nothing further to add. Thank you.
Merry Christmas to you too, Chief.
Bah humbug.
Max Hannon from CLC, anything? Connie Hillman, Finance?
Yes, I would just like to say thank you to all the department heads and for all the staff for all their hard work with putting together the budget. And also Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you too, Connie. Mike Abgorst, Public Works.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We have two events coming up this week at Rotary Park. The park board entered into agreement with Rotary and the Green River. They're doing like a mitigation thing with the buckthorn out there. They're going to be doing prescribed burning. We've already been working with the fire department, and that will be taking place Thursday and Friday. And ice rinks, with weather cooperating, should be opening up next week.
Thank you, Mr. Habegorst. James Kramvik, Community Development.
Thank you, Mr. President. So Planning Commission has 3 upcoming agenda items for this Wednesday's meeting. Keepers PUD and preliminary plat amendment, St. Francis Rectory CUP amendment for a 3-stall garage rather than 2. Number 3, a review of the RFP for updating the city's comprehensive plan. Also, the EDA approved their budget and allocated $25,000 towards a facade grant along Washington Street and $15,000 towards signage improvements throughout the city. Staff will be presenting a proposal at the March meeting from Bladek to help administer the grant, and it should be available sometime thereafter.
Thank you, Mr. Kramvik. Joe Lango, attorney.
Nothing here. Thank you very much.
Chris Schubert. Paul Sandy.
With our recent cold snap this weekend, the utility department did have our first water main break of the season. I just want to express my gratitude to the workers that were out on Saturday during the horrendously cold weather repairing a water main at 9th and J Street. They fixed it in about 6 or 7 hours after the utility locates came back, and they were working in some pretty terrible conditions. So just want to express my gratitude for them to be out there fixing water main in those conditions.
Do you know about how many homes were affected?
They had a hard time getting some of the valves to shut off. They had to go a few blocks away to get a complete kill on the line. And so it was probably 2 to 3 blocks from 9th and J. But the shutdown was between, I think, 7, and I think they had it back on by about 3 in the afternoon.
Well, good job to those gentlemen. Not a fun job.
Not a fun job when it's 20 below.
Not at 20 below. Or 20 above, even. Eric Charpentier, the HRA. Nothing tonight? All right. In person. Good to see you. Administrator Broyles?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Connie, and all the senior staff for all the hard work on the budget. You guys did a great job. We have a Charter Commission meeting. It's actually a joint meeting on Wednesday with the Charter Commission and the Public Utilities Commission at 4:30. The packet was emailed out this afternoon. I did reach out to the point of contact for codification at the League of Minnesota Cities. We've just started a dialogue. And I just want to kind of see where that goes, because we have some money budgeted for codification in 2026. So I've started that conversation with the League of Minnesota Cities. And warm day tomorrow. If you need to chip ice in your driveway, it's a good day to chip the ice out of your driveway tomorrow.
Could be a record, I heard. Thank you, Administrator Broyles. Let's start with Councilman Chezak. Oh, let's do the mayor first.
Excuse me.
Well, you like to go twice.
Sean,
He likes to go
what about
twice,
Sean?
so.
Sean.
Oh, Sean's here. He's hiding. All right. Mayor Bedell.
Well, I ordered the warm weather for, Christmas carriage event that happened this last week. It's a little late like normal, but that's okay. So it will hopefully be here. Speaking of which, we have more Christmas carriages opportunities on Saturday, the 20th. You can hook up with Passport, get yourself a meal, take your family on a carriage. I can tell you last Friday she was cold. So hopefully it'll be a little bit warmer this week. And then after Christmas, on the 27th, Christmas carriages will be available as well. And that will be the Last Turn Saloon, the Last Turn Brew Pub, as they are now called. Delicious food down there with Sean. Other than that, we have a park board meeting tomorrow. I hope that it is very short. I have a Christmas program for my children, so I'm looking at you, Mike. I've seen your 4 items before. Let's keep them nice and crisp, because my family won't let me skip this one this year. So, or I can blame you as to why I didn't have to listen to the Little Drummer for the 47th millionth time. Other than that, I just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone out there, to our staff, as well as the citizens. Thank you guys for everything that we do every year. It's been a really fun year, I think. I think we had a really good year. So I want to say Merry Christmas to you all, and enjoy the holidays with your family. And then right back to work right in January. Crack that whip, right back to work. So enjoy it while we can. And report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Chezak?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I also want to extend a Merry Christmas to everybody and a Happy New Year. And there is a meeting on Wednesday with the Charter Commission, as Administrator Boyles indicated. And there's also a Public Utility Commission meeting, the last of the year. It will be a week early on the 23rd, a week from tomorrow on Tuesday, the 23rd. And I want to extend my sincere thank you to Mr. Mark O'Day for his years of service to the city of Brainerd. He was elected to city council when he was 29 years old and started serving, I believe, at that age. He served for 16 years, I think, on the council, and then again, another, I believe it's 16 on the utility commission. As any of you know, it's it's becoming more difficult to find people willing to serve essentially as volunteer positions, even though the utility commission does have a small, I call it a stipend, I guess, for their service. But so I've learned a lot in the last few years as a liaison from Mark, and I can't thank all the people who serve on the committees and boards and commissions enough, and especially Mr. O'Day for his numerous decades of service to the city of Brainerd.
Thank you, Mr. Chezak. Moving on to Mr. Bevins.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm here to testify as to what is fun at 20 below. Tonic Sulfa at Getcha Zibby 2 weeks ago, their final Christmas shows right here in beautiful Brainerd. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer up at Central Lakes College, and it turns out that reindeer really do know how to fly. Lakes Area Music Festival down at the Pillsbury Castle by Washburn Park, a fundraiser for the Lakes Area Music Festival that joins us all summer, every summer. Rock and Roll Christmas right here at Getcha Zibby. And then to take also, of course, the Charter Commission. As if that's not enough, the library board. And I took Mr. Johnson's advice and went down to the sweet shop and sucked down a big old jumbo glass of sugar in the dirty soda, and it was delicious. I highly recommend it. Thank you. There's plenty to do at 20 below.
Man, I wish I could had enough time to have as much fun as Mr. Bevins.
It's called getting fired from your job. It's great.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bevins. Mr. Yeager?
Thank you, Mr. O'Day. Airport ticker. So first thing, you may have noticed there was a very well-crafted article that came out in the Dispatch announcing the job offering to our new director. Pleased to say that Jennifer Roach has accepted the position. And currently, Mr. Neil Planzer, our interim director, as well as HR department, are kind of working through all of the nuances of the employment contract that will be presented back to the Airport Commission at our next meeting in January, hopefully for final approval there. So, and I'd be very, very hopeful that can introduce you to our new director at our next meeting. So, following that. So, also, things have been going very, very well out there. Snow events handled well, and encourage any of you to visit anytime for a tour of the facility. I also just want to say big thank you to all of the city staff that has put in all of the work that you guys have done this year. It's highly criticized work. It's tough work that all of you have, and I appreciate you guys keeping your chin up at all times and charging forward and trying to do what's right. I honestly believe that every one of our staff is trying to do what's right every single day, and I appreciate that. I'd also like to mention my appreciation to those that I serve with on not only this council, but also boards, commissions, authorities, all of those volunteer positions, highly appreciated. Also highly criticized work, but very much appreciated and needed work. So wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yeager. Chairman Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I want to wish James specifically a how about them Cowboys.
It was a rough night.
Oh, you poor guy. poor guy.
But also just circle back from the public forum. I am interested in learning what we currently do to handle landlord-tenant type disputes, and if there's any protection or anything we could do to assist landlords when they're dealing with tenants or having problems. I mean, if that can come back and we can have that conversation as a council, I think it would be very important.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Chairman Erickson.
Thank you much. As the liaison to the Planning Commission, in 2 days, this upcoming Wednesday, we'll have our meeting right here, 6 p.m. Tune in. It's always a good time. Looking forward to the Planning Commission meeting, and of course, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Chairman Erickson. It's always crazy to me how fast the final council meeting of the year comes up. It's been 5 years of this for me, and my hair changes color just a little bit every year, some years more than others.
Sad,
This
really.
year was a lot, but we made it through. Overall, it was a good year. I think it was a great year. The faces have changed a little bit. We get Paul Sandy back over here. But I think we've made some very positive change in this room and in this city as a whole. I know staff is working hard. We're figuring out how to do things in a new way in certain areas. And next year will be a little more of the same and a little more different. But every year is interesting. So thank you to everybody that's involved. Everything has already been said. I also want to echo on Mr. Chezok's comments on Mr. Mark O'Day. I know that guy pretty well. I've learned a lot from him. He's probably a big reason of why I'm sitting here right now. It's crazy to me that he's actually thinking that he's done with these meetings with the Public Utilities Commission. We'll see if that sticks. But I'm sure he'll still be reaching out, giving all of us advice if we need it, and we do. So with that, I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas. Looks like we have about a 3-week break until the next council meeting. So everybody enjoy that, enjoy the holidays, and stay warm, except for tomorrow. You don't even need a jacket. With that, we're looking for motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by somebody and the second by Bevins.
Chezok.
Motion by Chezok, second by Bevins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. We are adjourned.